Hello, everybody. This is session one or part one of our three-part series, Supporting Parental Mental Health at Chat Center. This session is going to be focused on social support and community building. A quick introduction to who I am. My name is Joelle. I'm a third-year occupational therapy student at the University of the Pacific. Currently in my final semester of my doctorate program, where we focus on our Capstone project. So in our 3 years here, we research a topic and find a site about our topic, and we collaborate with them to make a project. So I've been collaborating with Chat to create parent-focused support series for families with children who are deaf and hard of hearing. The goal of this project is to strengthen parent well-being, connection, and access to support. The reason why I chose this topic was because at school we learned about the deaf community and deaf culture, and I found it very interesting. So when we were asked to pick a topic to research for our capstone project, I chose this topic, and that is how I ended up at Chat. So why this topic? Why did we choose to talk about parental mental health? Parents of children who are deaf and hard of hearing experience unique challenges, especially emotional and practical demands that require ongoing adjustment. When your child is first diagnosed, you're tasked with learning new medical terminology, having to make decisions, learning about new equipment that may need to be used. You're also asked to navigate different systems like education systems and healthcare systems and go to numerous appointments and therapies. And all of these ongoing demands can impact a parent's well-being. Having to manage care, communication, and decision-making can contribute to increased stress levels and fatigue over time. Research does show that support strengthens families, so when parents are feeling supported, they're better able to build strong relationships with their children. And a strong parent-child relationship has shown to support a child's development in areas such as emotional, behavioral, social, and cognitive development, especially in linguistics, which is very important for children who are deaf and hard of hearing. So we chose to focus on parental mental health here at Chat because this series is not only supposed to benefit the parents, but also the children as well. So today we are talking about social connection and community building because connection matters. Research shows us that connection and peer support is one of the strongest ways for a parent to feel supported because it helps reduce isolation. So connecting with other parents help normalize experiences and reminds families that they are not alone. Even getting to just hear what is difficult for another family can be something that relates to somebody else, and then they can provide strategies about how they got through that difficult moment. And even if it's not useful for each parent, it is a way to bond and have a better understanding. It can help build confidence and coping. Like I said, by sharing those experiences, you can also learn from others, and through this, you can increase your confidence and problem solving. It's also great to share with others what has worked, and then it can increase your confidence when it ends up working for another family as well. And then overall, connection supports long-term well-being. This ongoing peer support is linked to lower stress levels and improved emotional well-being for parents. So when we did have our in-person sessions, we were able to build connections by getting into groups of 2 or 3, and then we introduced ourselves and named the following, so our name, the age of our child, child's grade, and how they discovered the child's diagnosis. Then we continued our connection through conversation, so parents in their small groups again were able to discuss these questions or share strategies they thought of. I encourage you all now who are listening to go through each of these questions and kind of ask yourself them. You can even jot them down in a notebook if you want to express your feelings that way. The first question is, what part of navigating services has felt the most confusing or unexpected? What strengths have you discovered in yourself as a parent through this process? What has helped you get through difficult moments? And what advice would you give another parent who is just beginning this journey? So go ahead and take a moment to think about those. You can go ahead and pause the video and then press play when you're ready. I also wanted to include some additional resources to connect. These are all online resources. Since I know a barrier is having to be here in person to make connection, but this is a way for you to connect from anywhere. So the first resource is Hearing First, which is a website that provides family-centered articles, parent stories, and practical resources to support families. It allows parents to upload blog-style posts and questions that are answered by other parents and families with similar experiences. You can see on the right-hand side, this is an image of the website. Um, and I did create an account. It's completely free. You just log in and then you can go to the forum and ask questions. You can see on the bottom image, those are all different questions that have been asked by parents. You can see the first one is talking about real-time captioning in school-wide announcements, and the second one is talking about speech development for a 2-year-old with cochlear implants. So it's a wide range of questions, and typically I found that questions are answered within 1 to 2 days. There are also professionals within the forum, so if your question isn't answered by a parent, it can be answered by a professional. Another resource I wanted to include was Hands in Voices. It's another website that offers parent-to-parent support with shared experiences and opportunities to connect. One of their programs that I really liked was Guide by Your Side, which pairs a trained parent mentor who has had similar experiences with families by providing them some emotional support, education, to help parents feel less alone in their journey. So on the right, I included an image of what it looks like, the Guide by Your Side page. Also, the email is included here. That way you can sign up if you feel like you would like to, but I think it's a really great resource for parents to get some additional support if needed. And then I wanted to include the American Society for Deaf Children at deafchildren.org. They have family resources, community supports, and educational information for families who are raising deaf and hard of hearing children. You can see here on the right side, I included images of their parent and family page. They also have a page for mental health resources for families and also for children if they need it. Thank you for watching this session. This is one of 3 of our series. The next session is managing stress and burnout, where we're going to discuss strategies for managing stress and burnout in everyday life and continue to provide a safe space for connection and support. If you have any questions, you can email my Pacific email at the joelle_pakim@u.pacific.edu, or you can reach out to chat to get more information.